Hey, it's Marie here with Moji and Liz from the Feminist Buzzkills Live podcast. Check out the highlights from this week's episode.
I mean, I want to get back to that point where you said that it's Christian supremacy, right? Because it's trying to force people to observe funeral rites that are specifically, burial rites are specifically ingrained in Christian faith that some people don't adhere to or other religions don't want to participate in. And it also makes it really difficult for people of other faiths to practice what they want to do, right? I recently learned from the folks, Rachel over at Indigenous Women Rising, that Navajo folks sometimes ask for the products of conceptions after their abortion as part of a ceremony, right? So Indigenous Women Rising helps them pay for the cost of the funeral home receiving the remains, and then a medicine woman taking the remains, and then they can do a ceremony with the person who had an abortion, which I think is really beautiful, right? But again, states stepping in and saying, this is what you have to do with it, enforces this like white Christian nationalism of that we have to practice Christianity or any religion in the way that they want. And it's whatever, it's trash.
It's trash. It's basically trash. Are the doctors in Puerto Rico open? Like, are there enough doctors that are open to this, or are a lot of doctors resistant to offering abortion care to people in the island?
I wouldn't say that I have an exact number, but I would say, like, from experience, there are a lot of barriers. Not a lot of them are open to it. In fact, I've had experiences where I've been the doula of someone, and they're having like bleeding, for example, and abdominal pain, so they go to the hospital and they explicitly say that they're like already have an appointment to have an abortion, and they will look down on them, they will treat them badly because they don't want them to abort.
Mm-hmm. There's just also a real lack of doctors in general on the island. Like, as one of the symptoms of being a colony is just being under resourced, and the medical system here is suffering, I would say, being extremely under resourced. And doctors have left the island since Hurricane Maria, and they keep leaving. And so in general, some people, like my wife, just waited 3 months to see a neurologist, because that's how far out the appointments are sometimes, depending on especially if you need a specialist for something. So that adds to the problem.
Nice.
Maria and I were having a long casserole conversation just
Were
a few
you?
days ago.
Oh my God, about what kinds?
It's so specifically about one with tater tots and cheesy, gooey stuff. It's almost like a mac and cheese with tater tots. Yeah. And I was like, I feel like I had it in Minnesota and they called it a hot dish.
A hot dish.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's in Minnesota. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know why the name was, because then I think someone else who was from Michigan was with us, and she was like, I really love a green bean casserole. And I was like, I do not.
Yes. No, you want a green bean person?
I think you're eating the green bean casserole. Well, also hot dish, they sometimes will put like cornflakes and other random shit on top.
Oh yeah, you just gotta put butter on the cornflakes. If you put the butter on the cornflakes first, that's much better.
That's your answer to everything.
It is. That is.
Butter's the answer always.
Can you see it?
Oh my gosh. I was raised not eating butter, and I think I discovered butter in my 20s, and I was like, life changed. Life changed. Butter's like the best thing. Never look back.
Butter is fantastic.
So good.
Listen to the entire episode of Feminist Buzzkills Live wherever you get your podcasts. Feminist Buzzkills Live, the podcast from Abortion Access Front. New episodes drop Friday. Listen, subscribe, give us 5 stars.